So, after years of observing presuppositional apologists, I would like to put in my 2 cents. Here's the issue: presuppers are stuck in a bit of a Bayesian black hole because they are 100% confident of what they say. And since they are 100% confident instead of, 99.9, no amount of evidence will drive them out of it. They will just dismiss the evidence as a data point that doesn't fit the curve because to them the curve is now set in stone. Presuppers basically think that there is a script that they can follow that is laid out in bits and pieces in the New Testament, mostly in Paul's letters. Now, I don't think that's the case, of course, but they do, and that's what's important. And they feel that this script will lead to either them converting the other person or the other person having to admit that they suppressed the truth in unrighteousness, I believe the term is, or otherwise they are intentionally being deceptive. You will hear a presupper say, "You're lying," a fair amount. Again, they cobble this scripted interaction together from various pieces, mostly of the New Testament. The important thing is that presuppers are also biblical literalists. They believe that the Bible is literally true and inerrant. So, whenever there is an interaction that they believe should follow that script, what the presupper will do is that instead of reacting to what their interlocutor says, they will interact with whatever the script say that they should say next. It's a little bit like those old Soviet show trials where the accused were told what to say, and a few times it happened that the judge or the prosecutor skipped the line and asked a different question as to what the script says, and the prisoner answered with the quote unquote right answer anyway, and nobody commented on it. Except all of this is going on only on one side of the equation, on the presupper side. So if a presupper asks you a question that is part of their script, most presuppers have slightly different scripts. They cobble it together out of Bible verses in different ways. If you ask a question or say something that the presupper cannot quite fit into the script, they're going to do one of the two things. They're going, if it can be mushed into a part of the script, they will do that. If what you said can't possibly at all be interpreted as what you quote unquote should have said, they will answer what you should have said, according to them. If you say something that is completely irreconcilable with the script that they have, they're going to either ask you again, and you can see it. Some people will ask you again the same question 3-4 times and just ignoring your answer every time. Or they will become belligerent because they are experiencing cognitive dissonance. So they can either become angry, accuse you of derailing the conversation, which in their mind you kind of are doing. They might accuse you of derailing the conversation. They might accuse you of going off topic. They might accuse you of going down a rabbit trail. Or they may simply just become belligerent, call you a liar. Know that a liar means somebody who is intentionally being deceptive, not somebody who is merely wrong. The problem is that if you think yourself into following a presup script, and if you are a biblical inerrantist, you can really not ever get out of this because, again, it's a Bayesian black hole. You have reached such certainty in your hypothesis that any data point that you find that does not fit the curve that you have established to be set in stone can just be dismissed. You are so sure of what you know that you are refractory to new information, no matter how much new information comes in. In that sense, I believe that presuppositionalism is truly the black hole of apologetics. The only way out of it is to just have some kind of experience in your life that either causes you to drop your faith entirely or at least drastically reconfigure it. But it is a position that you can Bible study yourself in, but you cannot Bible study yourself out of. It is this great attractor. Again, it's a black hole. I've seen people fall into this black hole. Eric Hovind would be an example. And the only times I've seen people fall out of this black hole is if they renounce their faith entirely. What I don't know if it is possible to fall into the black hole of presuppositionalism and leave it while retaining your initial faith. By the way, on that note, everything I just said is true of Christian presuppers, which is what we've interacted with mostly. But it is also true of Muslim presuppers. Replace Bible with Quran. Except I cannot really tell you which bits of the Quran they harvest the components of their scripts from because I am not an expert. I have been studying presuppositional apologetics, the psychology of it, maybe even the neurology of it, since 2012, so 9 years. These are my conclusions. This is what's going on. Presup is a rail that the brain falls into and then has to follow it. And then the brain has to follow it. And any attempt of an interlocutor to derail this train of thought will result in cognitive dissonance, which may result in hostility, which is why presuppositionalist debates tend to be so hostile. I wish I had a fix, but unfortunately I cannot think of one.